Yeah, you better step into the light. Just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you...
Well, hello everyone. G'day. How are you? Thank you for joining us today on our Who, What, Where Wednesday, which is here 25th of September and 2024. And isn't the year going past so quick? Thank you so much. Thank you, Jean, for joining us. Paul, thank you so much for joining us from New Zealand. It's really lovely to see you. And all those popping on from all over the social medias, whether it be through here on the YouTube Live or over on LinkedIn or over on our Facebook account, which is, goes live over there on two of my accounts, Narelle Warcon Author and Narelle Warcon. So thank you so much for joining us. Today we have a wonderful special guest who originally was from Papua New Guinea, PNG. Viola has been around in our Aussie groups and things like that for quite a few years now. Hi, Taryn, lovely to see you. Hi, Alice, lovely to see you up early. So Viola is amazing. She's quite a softly spoken lady, and but she had always sort of had a few problems coming online and things like that. So we hope everything goes well tonight. And that Viola is going to be able to share with us all her story. Hi, Lydia. Hello, Glenda. Lovely to see you. We look forward to hearing Viola's story. And please, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Viola throughout her sharing her story, because, we are here about shining the light and also the diamond within. So scratching the surface of those people here in Australia, New Zealand and surrounding islands of Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Fiji, Thailand, Singapore, and any of the others that I may have missed. But we want to shine the light on you. We want to scratch the surface of who you are, because every one of us is important. Every one of us has a diamond inside. We just covered it, or life covered it. We all go through things in life. We all have things that we maybe regret, things that stopped us from doing or being who we are. And I think it's really important that you step up and say, hey, listen, I want to be able to share my story, share it with the world. You are unique, you are important, and you certainly are worthy. So I want to welcome our special guest. Like I said, if you have any questions throughout, I will get back over to the chat later on. But thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. So our special guest is Viola Vey, and we're going to go over and welcome Viola now. Thank you, Viola, for being here. Hello.
Hello.
And look at our beautiful diamond. Viola Vey, thank you so much for being here tonight, for being a part of my Who, What, Where Wednesday, The Diamond Within. We really appreciate you being here. So I'm going to ask you, Viola, to share a little bit about your life, a little bit about perhaps where you grew up, where you were born, any siblings, parents, that sort of thing. And then we'll continue on from there. So thank you again for being here. It's an absolute honor.
Thank you so much, Narelle, for having me. My name is Viola. I am from PNG. I was raised and born in PNG and grew up in the village, right into the mountains, interior, and got 11 siblings with one father, with one mother.
Wow.
4 died and 7 live. And yeah, it is hard, but away from health, whatever, we don't have access to any of that. but raising up in the village and gone to school in the village, went to an high school on the coast, flew by plane, four-seater plane, the MAF aviation mission that does Papua New Guinea from remote areas. And I went to a school, one girls' school in Holingham High School, only girls' school. And I did my year 10, and then I didn't, I didn't achieve. I went back home because my dad has passed away. So I went back home.
Just bear with us all. If Viola has frozen a little bit, the internet connection is not fully 100%. She will be back, so please just bear with us for a minute while Viola comes back on. So I'll just duck over to the chat quickly while we're waiting for Viola and say hello. Hi, Praveen. Lovely to see you. David Piggott, thank you for joining us tonight. Beautiful, beautiful. I shouldn't say that, but it was a beautiful photo that I saw of you yesterday, I think it was. You take a really good photo. Taryn, lovely to see you. Paul's in from New Zealand, and it's 10 after 10 p.m. over there in New Zealand. So Lydia's in from Queensland, and we have Lydia as a special guest next week. I don't usually share out that information, but I thought it was really good if people knew, I suppose, in advance who's coming on. Sometimes it's nice to get surprises, right? You know, it's like when is Ash coming on or is Ash not coming on? I know that what I've heard, and I haven't had it confirmed yet, that the OP, 360, just let me check this with Viola. So the 360, we have been advised but not confirmed yet, will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, which is today, which is our tomorrow. So if there's no other changes and it's 2 p.m. EST, we'll certainly, I'll put up the times in that for Australia, but we know that Western Australia will be 2 a.m. Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria and PNG will be 4 a.m. and New Zealand will be 6 a.m. So just bear with me while we hopefully get Viola back on. It's terrible when the internet, and I'm hoping that one day that we won't have to muck around with this rubbish, or it costs so much, you know, like if any of you have overseas friends in those, like I have a friend in Uganda, one in South Africa, and others all over the world where they have to pay for their data and it just becomes too expensive for the income that they get. So it makes it, okay, so yes, she is trying to get back on. We certainly want to hear more from Viola. Are you there, Viola? Hey.
Oh, sorry for it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. Thank you for coming back
Yeah.
on. I know that the internet can be a little bit in and out. So continue on with your story, please.
Yeah. 1 year we stayed in Fiji and came to Australia in 2001. And we've been with the Youth with a Mission, worked for 5 years and worked with the indigenous people, and then worked in the boarding schools with the indigenous kids as a boarding supervisor for 10 years.
Wow.
And yeah, it was amazing. And the indigenous kids for 10 years, I loved it. I fell in love with the kids,
Mm.
and it was a great privilege to work with the indigenous kids. and then
I
we
think
moved to Cairns for
I think
5 years
Viola,
in Cairns.
you talk about the Indigenous children. I think it's like a real cultural thing. Here in Australia, we have our Aboriginal cultures, South Sea Island cultures, Torres Strait Island cultures, and things like that. So coming from PNG, where it's very family orientated, you know, very much community, very much villages and things like that, it would have really, I suppose, helped in a heart connection to the, you know, Aboriginal or the Indigenous children of Australia. So thank you for doing that for 10 years. That's really amazing. So what happened when you went to Cairns?
We moved to Cairns because we got a house here. We bought a house, so we have to move back here to settle close to home so that I can fly 1.5 hours to PNG. My husband
Yes.
wanted Brisbane, but I said we have to settle in Cairns. That's how we settled in Cairns. Yeah.
What about, I have a question here from Jean Aliva, and Jean asked the question, what is your favorite part of being a part or living in Papua New Guinea? Was, you know, from childhood or any part of your life there in PNG? Is there a special moment that you can remember, or a special part, a special village that you lived in? Can you share that with us?
Yes. I'm living and raised in the village. From now, I recall back sometimes. I wish I was in the forest walking around, walking into, just walked into the jungle and, get lost in there and have fresh air and come out, live on the mountains and walk in the valleys. And that's the great memory that I have today. And sometimes when I'm alone, I said, oh God, I wish I should be walking around. I couldn't go back into my village because there is no plane to get us back into my village to see my family. So that's every time I go on holidays, I stay in town. My family walk for one whole day down to the coast and then get a boat, come to the main town to see me, and then I see them, and then I come back after my holidays. I've
Oh
been
my
doing that
God,
for 10 years. Yes, yes,
that
I've been
that
going
is
to and from Papua.
that is super amazing. I mean, it almost brings tears to my eyes that your family have to walk that far to actually come and see you, that there's no plane or any other form of
Yes,
transport to be able to get you to them and back to your village. Because I know that what you
yes,
said and the joy in going into the jungle and just breathing fresh air and the
mm,
beautiful water is, I think, something our whole world would love to experience. You know, I think it's amazing that there is still parts of our world, many parts of our world, that are still untouched, so to speak. But that's a beautiful story, Viola, and I thank you for sharing that. Now, is there certain things that you did in jobs, you know, when you went to Cairns? Was there certain jobs that you did that, you know, like you still do today, or what are you doing today? Or
I came back to Cairns and I worked in the indigenous school, boarding school in Cairns, and for 1 year. And then after the COVID, I left, and now I'm working with the domestic in the hotel for 2 years now. So
yeah,
that's the
nice.
work experience.
And your husband, he works full time?
Yes, both of us were working together. Now he switched to security. He's doing security work,
Nice.
and he's doing security to NDIS at the same time at the moment.
Oh, good. Yeah. So
Yes.
is he is does he do night shifts, or is it mainly during the day?
I usually fly in and out of community. In the communities, goes for security, come back to Cairns and do NDIS. He just arrived
Okay.
there that few days ago. Yes.
Okay, and you're ready to send him back out?
Yes,
Sorry,
he's
just my
going
humor.
back soon to come.
So
Yes, he's going
tell
back.
me, how did On Passive find you? What is it that you saw in On Passive, and what would you like to do once we start getting organized again and start rolling out? So first of all, who did you speak to, or what did you see that made you sort of like On Passive and want to be a part of it?
I was in Tiwi Islands. I worked in Tiwi Islands. That's the boarding school that I worked. And I went for holidays in 2020, January. And my cousin brother and my older brother, who is gone, one day we were sitting down and my brother said to me, "Why don't you join me?" And I said, "What do you mean? A scam?" And all my other brothers and sisters rolled their eyes and they walked out. And then as soon as they went out, and both of us sat down and we told stories. And I said, "What are you doing?" He didn't go to school. He's just a year 6 dropout. And he goes, "I don't know the internet, but you go on internet and there is a big company going on." And because he invested some money, I sent him some money invested into a scammer, and he lost. So I said, "I hope it's not a scam. You better watch it." And my cousin brother, who um, introduced him on passive, goes, "Oh yeah, he's right. You go and search and see for yourself, and get back to us, and we will tell you more." So I came back to Tiwi College. I went straight on internet and I searched through, and I saw the first video of Ash. I sat there, watched the video, and I went, "Oh wow." I just said, "Wow." It was totally different. It just clicked straight away. I went back, got onto the internet. I went and messaged my brother and I go, "Whom can I contact?" And he goes, "Oh, contact David Bakau." So I went on and searched David Bakau and I sent him a message. I said, "How can I sign in?" He said, "My sister, just get in." I went straight away on the April 7th of 2020. I signed in. And
Well,
I was the ninth one, I think, in Papua New Guinea.
wow.
And my older brother passed away. And yeah, I haven't gone to see him. Sorry, I'm emotional.
It's
He
okay.
signed me in. He passed away last year, November.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
very sad. I'm sorry.
you know, yeah.
It's hard.
And I
It's
haven't
hard.
gone home. Yeah.
It's hard when you're not close to be there, you know. But
Ye-
just know that he's around you at all times. Please know that.
Hmm. Thank you. Yeah.
So David Beckau was
And then
your
I
sponsor.
signed up. Yes, David
Yeah.
Bakal. He said to
And
me, he said to contact Mati Digambo. That was how
I think
yeah. And from
David is an amazing person for Papua New Guinea because he did so much work, and for his late wife
yes,
Susan, I want to honour her as well because
yes,
she was an amazing woman and leader, but also like the mama in Papua New Guinea. You know, she was an inspiration to many of them, and I don't think David would have been the person he was without her. So we honour Susan back out tonight for the tireless work that she has done and did for Papua New Guinea. So thank you, Viola, for sharing, that part of who brought you in or who you spoke to. David has a wonderful heart, and I know that Papua New Guinea is about to change with everything that's coming. And I know that it's taken some time to get to where we are. As like any business, it can take years to establish just one platform or one business, whether it's bricks and mortar or online business. But is there something that once you heard Ash, because I think everybody who heard Ash's videos, or for me it was Mike Alice, those words of, of like you said, it was something different. It stood out to you and you thought, wow, this is different. What were your feelings of like where to from here, or the fact that you're still here with ONPASSIVE, you're still an inspiring lady within the ONPASSIVE Australia circle, because now you've been here over 20 years. You sort of get classed as an Aussie. you just got
Yes,
to work on your speech.
yes, that's right. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, well, it's all right.
Yeah.
You hang around me, and I'll teach you probably things you shouldn't know. But anyway, like I said, just moving on from there, what was it that really touched your heart, and where do you feel this is going to go? Not just for you personally, but perhaps for your country of PNG. If you want to talk about that for a little while, that'd be great.
Um, when I first saw Ash speaking, it just something clicked, and I said, I am in. I will do it for my people. And my brother said, and my cousin brother, we said, we are going to do it. We'll do it together. We'll do it for our people. We are from the interior. We're in a remote place. We want to do it for our family. We want to see, we want to support, we want to help. And this is the great opportunity to get in there, and we don't know, but we learn as we go along. We don't know the internet, but we just learn and do it. And
Yeah,
that was,
the one thing I noticed, just to butt in there, sorry for that, but the one thing I noticed about PNG, I had done a few presentations over there and been there every Sunday when it was on in the afternoons. And what an amazing, beautiful sight to see everybody around either boomboxes or phones or whatever, just to absorb like a sponge everything that was being said, So when Marty was speaking, or Chris, or any of those who came on, Papua New Guinea tried everything in every way to make sure that not only just one person was listening, but a whole tribe of people were there listening. Their faces, honestly, the smiles, it was just beautiful, because they felt for the first time, probably in a long time, that they were of value, that they were important, that they were worthy, and that they were enough. And sometimes when you go into these communities, you find, even though they're very family orientated, from those outside sources, because Papua New Guinea is a very rich country island, they have lots of they have lots of that, but they have people in the wrong places who keep the tribe, keep the people down. One of the things I remember listening to is being able to build roads and that, so people didn't have to walk for so long. The people in the jungles, out there in the villages where they don't have what everybody else has. And it's not that they want a whole heap, but to have those, especially doctors, having the ability to see a doctor when they want, having the roads to be able to get there. I remember, again, reading a story about a lady who died on her way, and I will get emotional here, because I cannot even imagine what it would be like, and the fear in that mum having to, go in I think it was a little type of a kayak type boat thing down the river to be able to give birth. and I believe that she may have passed away on her way to getting help to deliver her baby. And that is the sadness of what we hear. And people need to hear this. People need to know that instead of living in their own neighborhoods with everything's fine, do you know what I mean? Thank you, Jean. Yes, natural resources. It's there somewhere in my head. People need to know that these things happen all over the world. And if we bury our heads in the sand and pretend that it's not happening, then nothing will change. I absolutely am honored that you found, or David shared, or your brother shared this with you so that you can be an inspiration and you can uplift your communities and your villages. And imagine how many of us in ONPASSIVE are going to be standing there right beside you, and not just money handout, but standing there right beside you with a spade or a shovel or something to be able to say, we're here to support you. Like I said, I think that's hugely important that we honor you, you know, because PNG is really important. Now, just going on, because I sort of butted in there and I do apologize. What I wanted to ask you was, what are your great aspirations for what you want to do first? Now, I know Ash has said, look after yourself first. However, what is something that you desire to do? Have you written down something? Do you have some goals? You know, what is it that you want to do when the finances come through?
First thing, the roof over me, that loan to get it paid. Yeah, and then that's the first priority.
Yeah,
And after that, my family at home, then extend my territory. And that's the
yeah.
goal that I have. Yeah,
Do you think that you'll fly?
that's
Do
what
you
I
think that
will
you'll
do.
Yeah. Do you think that you'll fly back over, you know, to be able to put in place, I suppose, those things that you really want to help them with? Because it's not just a money handout, right? You know, we really want to make change in the world. And by doing that, it's really sort of establishing. I think one of the things that I learned along the way is find those people who are doing it already, who already have a love for helping other people, whether it's homeless, whether it's, you know, in the villages, whether it's data, whether it's, you know, food, whether it's water, all those sorts of things. So I think, you know, finding those people, do you have those people in Papua New Guinea or somebody there who has already established, you know, help for those in need that you could help them?
Yes, we discussed with my cousin brother, and internet is one of those that they need solar in order to operate. Mobile phones, they have to climb up mountains to hold their phones in the air to get reception. That is one of those. And the schools, especially books, pencils, pen that the kids need. So I'm emotional. So
That's
much
okay.
need that the kids need. And
Yeah,
those are the
it's
plans that my cousin plays.
yeah, I just wanted to know, like, how do you run your, what is the internet over there? Is it Starlink? I know that sometimes in our out west Australia, you know, out in the bush, Telstra and Optus, who say no one will go without internet, is a big fat lie. But do you have availability to like things like Starlink and things like that, you know, to provide a better service? Is that what will help in that situation?
Yes, they have a digital that they build a tower right in the village. So that's how people get their reception. When it's raining and it's what the internet cuts off. And they have
Mm,
to, the digital have to go back again and fill the whatever, and then the internet comes on. So those ones are close to the tower, they get the reception. But the villages between the mountains, they don't have the reception. They have to climb a hill and then hold their phones in the air and find receptions. Like I do in the TV islands. I go into the bush to look for reception. It's exactly the same in the village.
Yeah,
Yes.
so with this tower that they put in the middle of the village, is that sort of
Yes.
up on a hill in the village, like like you said before about
Yes.
climbing
Right.
hills and stuff like that?
Yes. Right in the village, one of the villages where the plane lands, and right on the mountain.
Mm,
The people around there, they have reception, but not the villages far away from the village, because they're between the mountains. Villages are between the
yes,
mountains, so they can't
yeah,
really get the reception yet. Yeah.
no, and obviously
So
it's probably not that expensive for the government or those in power to be able to do that with the telecommunications, to be actually to put in more towers. They just don't want to do it because
yes,
it keeps you controlled under their reigning of it's
yes,
sort of like a dumbed down, let's keep them here because we don't want them to have anything else. So I'm sure that the towers wouldn't be that expensive to be able to bring in more internet connection for those people within the villages. I mean, they do without so much, so why shouldn't that be? So it'll be very important to see how people will react within your country and the villages when these things start to roll out and they become easily accessible. I think that is hugely important, because when you haven't had something for so long, it's really hard to go, oh my goodness, I've got internet. A simple thing like that, which we, in many of our countries, whether it be America, UK, Australia, and all over the world, we have an internet connection that's instant. And we're actually spoilt to the point that if it's not running as fast as what it should, then we get upset. So I can't even imagine what it would be like. And I think my frustration levels would be out the window, and so would my mobile phone or my laptop if I was trying to deal with that type of connection. So, hey, before we go any further, I'm just going to pop over to the comments that are coming through, Viola, just to see if there's any other questions for yourself. So just give me a moment. Okay. Jean said, I think the ONPASSIVE family shares one single heart. We all have such similar dreams and passions around ONPASSIVE. You are absolutely right. David, thank you for commenting. Thank you for all saying hello to one another and reaching out. We certainly have a beautiful ONPASSIVE family here. And so, right, Jean, we all found it because we all have a heart for humanity. And that's one of the main things or reasons that those who listen to Ash or listen to any of those, Mike Ellis, on choosing whether or not you came into ONPASSIVE, was that you saw something different, and that was a heart for humanity. We are about to change the world in bringing that hope for humanity. Tonight we hear from a lady previously from PNG, but all her family, are there. And we know, because we've heard from so many Papua New Guinea people about their struggles. So the struggle is real, and we just don't fully understand it because we've never been in that situation. So I really appreciate the fact of what Viola has shared tonight. If there's any other questions here, hats off to all those dealing with the challenge of, all of them. And there's so many of them, Jean, within our world that have to deal with that. Like I said, my mobile phone, laptop would be out the window because I couldn't deal with it. And that's first world country problem, isn't it? First world problem. Paul, I'm just seeing if there's any others coming in with any other questions, and we'll go back over to you, Viola. Viola, I wanted to ask, I wanted to ask a question myself about, you know, I suppose your feelings right now, as to, things that have happened over the last 12 months within ONPASSIVE. We don't know the full outcome of that yet, and we've been told by Marty, Chris, Red, that one day Ash will get to share his story about what actually happened, or what went down, sort of thing. But it's looking very good, and Ash is very excited. What is it? If you were to meet Ash, is there something that you'd like to say to him that you could share with us tonight?
Um, uh, every day I'm praying. I'm praying for Ash. So God give Ash wisdom. And here see comments and say, why are you commenting? It's only in God's hands. At the right time, it will bring to pass. And I said, God, I'm waiting patiently and getting excited. Sometimes I get excited, walking around the house, saying, God, it's going to, how difficult it is. But God, you're going to bring it to pass. And going through the video, sat there and had tears rolling down my eyes, and I said, God, bless this man. Bless this man, give him wisdom. His tech team, everybody, that it will be done only through him alone.
Mm, absolutely. Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yes.
I watched a video today, and I think there's some. It's not had nothing to do with ONPASSIVE, but had everything to do with um, health. And there's big changes coming in our world. Hello, Ballyhoo, Ballyhoo. How you going? There's changes coming, and whether people are ready for it or not, or whether people like it or not, the change is going to happen, because we've had enough of our world being run by those people who are only power hungry, greedy, that sort of thing. Now, if you don't know anything about that, then you've been hiding under a rock. But our world needs a change. I think AshMufareh certainly came in to, as he says, change the world. He was born to change the world. And I think for the platform that he has provided us with, and what we're becoming, is certainly going to be outstanding. It's certainly going to be something that people haven't seen before. And the thing is, he's made it affordable for everybody. So, those who are out there just ripping people off, like yourselves in PNG, like those who have struggled for so many years just to get what? You deserve more. PNG deserves more. We all deserve to have, that love. I think love has been missing for so long. They took God out of a lot of things, which, I think a lot of things were falling apart because of that. Whatever you believe in, obviously myself and Viola have a great, love for our Lord, and pray for those things, because I think prayer is really important. Now, just going over to that quickly, we have many who need prayers in our ONPASSIVE family. So I'd just like to share out there, if you pray, please keep them in your thoughts, for those who are needing help, okay? We know that prayer works. We know that, because even for myself, many people prayed for me last year when I had a heart attack. And when they did an angiogram on my heart, they found that my heart had done its own bypass, even though it had a bypass early years ago. And my heart at that time had done its own bypass, something that they don't see very often. And that, to me, I know was the power of prayer. So it really does work. I really appreciate the fact that everybody is here everybody is supporting. Remember, if you are new to this channel, I do a Who, What, Where Wednesday evening, in interviewing and having a conversation chat with people that are beautiful diamonds inside. Viola, you are amazing. I think that what you will do to help your community is going to be known all over the world. And I know that David Backow will be up on those mountains shouting it from the top for the people that stayed the course of time with ONPASSIVE, who know that what's coming is coming. Okay, yes, it will be here, and soon they won't have to worry about that anymore. And if it's as simple as some beautiful fresh food, water, proper roads, they may not be large highways yet, they will come. But just providing your country, your community, your village with what they need right now, I think is going to change lives over there. So is there anything else that you would like to finish off with this evening? Just a special message for anyone, or just a special message to everyone out there?
I just want to say, everyone who are out there, let us put our hands and hearts and minds together and continue to pray. I know everybody here knows God, that we believe and stand together in prayer, and we see this company come to flourish in His timing, not our timing. And let us wait patiently. So that is my
Thank
word
you.
to each one of
Thank
us.
you so much. It's been an absolute honour to have you on. Before anybody leaves, please stay on. I'm just going to pop over to my website quickly. I am a published author, Narelle Warcon. I wrote my story about my life having survived sexual, physical, and mental abuse. And I just wanted to share with you all my website. I sent a couple of books to PNG because I know that many of the first webinars that we did in PNG, there was so many women that have lived through or are still living in domestic violence. And I wanted to share my book as a message of hope for all of those over there, and know that there are people out there who care and want to love and support on them as well. So this is my website. This is my book. It's called Blonde Roots. Yes, we spell it with an E in Australia. You can buy it from my website. You can contact me and we can organise a delivery price for anything out of Australia overseas. And I also blog most days where I just share a little bit of inspiration for you each day. Pop over, you can leave a message on any of the blogs. One of the things today, someone needs to hear you say, you can do it. So a lot of it comes to belief in other people, belief in ourselves, which is I believe in you, and I believe in others as well. I think that's one thing that comes across from Ash very sincerely, is that he loves and respects all of us for being there and supporting him through these times, troublesome times. And it's very hard to find that these days. So just pop over, have a look, like I said. And if you want to have a look at my book, like I said, I'm a published author. I wrote my story about coming through sexual, physical, and mental abuse. And I want to share that, my message out there, so that it brings hope for others. So that's just something I want to share with you all. Like I said, pop over, have a look. It's not about me selling the book. My book has gone all over the world. However, like I said, if you know somebody who's living with domestic violence or going through that, please support them as much as you can. Just encouraging them to know that they are special, they are worthy, because at the depths of domestic violence, they have you believing that you are worth absolutely nothing. And they will make everybody, or feels like everybody is turned against you, because they change who you are. It's a really weird world, but living through it, I have experience, I have empathy, to be able to, share out there to the world my story. If you want to go back and have a look at some of my older videos, I started talking about my book, my story, probably about 8 weeks ago now. You can go back on my YouTube channel and just have a look and a listen to those. If there's somebody that going through these hardships, please put them in contact with those in your area that may be able to talk with them. And if there is absolutely no one, then please reach out to anybody close to you. But please know that life is worth living and does change. Okay, every day we have a choice to get up and say, this is not how it is going to end. Love who you are, be who you are, because you are amazing just the way you are. So that's all I want to share there. I want to go back to Viola now and say, Viola, thank you once more for being here, for being a part of the ONPASSIVE community and family. I am absolutely honored, and I thank everybody who is here that has, shared some of their questions and information and saying hello in supporting each other. It is important. Viola is, like I said, lives in Australia now, just up the road, which in Australian terms, that's about 8 hours drive away, which is just up the road because Australia is such a big country. Next week, we have the beautiful Lydia. We have Lids coming in. I don't know whether she's still here. Lydia David. So Lydia is another beautiful lady who's coming in originally from Vanuatu. She's going to share some of her beautiful story and shine her bright, shiny diamond from within. And I want to say a huge, big thank you once again for supporting me. If you can subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it, because each week I'm bringing you stories of hope from other people. I also will be doing some recordings in the very, very close future for those who can't make it on to our 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So I want to be able to share that out there. So if you think, I can't do Wednesdays, get in contact with me and let's arrange a time that we can do a pre-recording and still get your story out there. So I think, like I said, it's very important. You are important. Ask the people that have been on my show, and they will tell you that it's a wonderful feeling to be able to share who you are. Juanita, thank you so much for coming in on my author channel. I appreciate that. So I have Narelle Warcon author. It is a Facebook page. You can find me as Narelle Warcon. I'm all over the place. I also, if you'd like to, if you're in ONPASSIVE, please pop over to our OP Australia and NZ Facebook group. Okay, so it's called Oceanic Ambassadors, OP Australia and NZ Oceanic Ambassadors. I do a lot of work over there by sharing a lot of, hey, Gurnham, thank you. Parvat, thank you so much. So good to see you. I do a lot of work over there by sharing a lot of the information that I think is important for our side of the world. And it's not that it isn't all important. It's just that I have to sleep sometimes out of the day. So I share what Australians would find, that sort of sounds like I'm just choosing what everybody likes, but I share the important stuff. A big shout out also to our deaf community. If you know anybody who is deaf, that there are Marty and Chris are sharing a lot of the deaf community, but I can also do that here on my show. So if you know of anybody in the deaf community from Australia, New Zealand, surrounding islands, reach out to them. I think it's really important that we do shine that light on everybody that we know. So thank you once again, Viola. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you, everyone, for popping in. And remember, we'll see you again next week at Who, What, Where Wednesday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Remember that we haven't got the full time yet, unless it's come through while I've been on here. But 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 360. We don't know if Ash is coming on or not. For Australia and Western Australia, that's 2 a.m. For Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria and PNG, that's 4 a.m. Yes, I know, nice and early mornings. And for New Zealand, that's 6 a.m. So thank you once again. I really appreciate you all, and say love and blessings to all. Have a great week, and I shall see you on the internet somewhere around very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.